We're getting ready to take a little break from renovating for the coming holiday season. My mom is arriving this afternoon. We'll be spending some time with family and friends. And before we go offline for a little while, we still have a Q&A session to record for you. So that's what we're going to do today. We have received quite a lot of questions, and there's probably a few too many to answer all today in the coming half hour, 45 minutes. So we've grouped them together in like a few broad themes, and the first one is settling into our new life. How are you feeling now that you've been living here for 6 months?
I think we're pretty amazed every day that we wake up here, that we have this place, that we live here.
And I guess every day there's like a moment where we are, oh my god, darling, look, it's so beautiful. Or, oh my god, this is our house now. That's still very much the phase, the phase that we are in. I also hope it never stops. I hope that in 10 years' time we will still be like, oh my god, this is where we get to live.
Mm-hmm.
And I think before we moved, we thought we were gonna get straight into finalizing all our plans and having our geometra submit all the building permits and start as soon as possible. When we arrived here in July, we really felt like, no, let's just first live here for a while. And I think now after 6 months, we are ready
To move on.
to move on. What are you enjoying most about the region you live in? Does it meet your expectations?
I think I enjoy the peace and quiet here, compared to the bustling suburban life that we came from. The nature around us is so stunning. The views, the beauty, and also the friendly people. It's really nice being here.
When you think you know what friendly people means, and then you come here, you realize that this village, it really feels like next level friendliness. Yesterday evening we went out for dinner with one of our neighbors, and we were also talking about how incredible the friendliness and like community spirit and selflessness and helpfulness of this community really is. The people definitely surpass our expectations. Like, I had expected that at the beginning there would be a phase of people kind of keeping their distance a little bit, weighing what kind of person you are and observing you before they make contact. That's something that we've read from many other people who've moved to new countries and also to Italy, but that's definitely not been our experience. I think that also one of the other questions was, how do you experience contact with
Yeah.
the people in your neighborhood?
Ties in.
Yeah, this kind of leads to that. So, do we still feel like outsiders? I wouldn't say that we already feel like very much an insider, but we feel like very welcome outsiders,
Mhm.
which is perfect to us because we are introverts and we
We
kind
are
of like,
outsiders.
yeah, we are always outsiders. Because we are living here all year round and don't have this as just a holiday home, it does feel like the locals see us as potential insider material. We do talk to our neighbors frequently and to the people in the village, and we have aperitivo together on occasion, or like yesterday we go out for dinner with neighbors, have a tea together with the mayor in her kitchen, and so yeah, so we feel like we're integrating fairly well. What do you miss most about your home countries? My answer is, I don't miss anything.
Not really. We've only been away for like half a year properly, and we've been there a few weeks ago, so not really missing anything except maybe the convenience of having stores close by, the DIY store or the supermarket.
Yeah, like, it's not that we're that far, but like having it at 5 minutes drive
Instead of half an hour.
is I mean,
It's
it has its perks.
convenient. But I wouldn't want to trade it in for where we are now.
No, and I think maybe the thing I'm going to miss is the fairly straightforward bureaucratic system and being able to do all of that in your own language.
Yeah.
Because I still have to move my business from the Netherlands to Italy, so we haven't kind of started that whole process yet. We do have a commercialista, an accountant, to help us with that process, but I think that might be something that I will miss, but we're not there yet, so I don't know. And also, I'm mentally prepared for it, I hope. As mentally prepared as you can be, so we'll see. Ask me this question again in half a year, and we'll see what the answer is. Do you watch or meet any other accounts who are renovating in the same area?
Yes, we do.
Well, we watch.
We watch a few, and we have been in touch with them as well. But somehow, with all the renovations or other stuff going on, we never get to meet up with them. Though we try to make appointments, but
Yeah, it's like renovation plans always get in the way, like either from our side or from the other side. Like it's like, oh yeah, let's meet up for dinner at some point. Oh yeah, wait, something unexpected has come up, so let's postpone it into the new year, and then so we'll see. The intention is definitely there. Some of the accounts that we watch are our Italian Dream House, who are an English-Swedish couple renovating in the Lange area, and then Villa Oliva, which is another Dutch couple. We've been watching and talking a lot to Maison de Base. They were renovating a house in Puglia, but they have sold that house and they have moved to Sweden, where they are starting a new project.
And Atelier Mavi as well.
Atelier Mavi, who are a French-Italian couple renovating a stone house on the Ligurian coast.
Also, we watch Siebren Doolaard.
Like, how could you not, I guess. There's also another couple in the village who...
The pioneers.
Yeah, the pioneers. Who started doing what we are starting now 16 years ago. And they are now more or less finished with their renovation. They're probably one of the first people that we met up with. They've been like super valuable, practical things from... Who do we go to help us import a car to Italy?
Where do you hire a mini excavator?
Like all those kind of things. So yeah, that has been really valuable. Okay, so what's the next theme? Renovation plans. Where shall we record that?
In front of the house.
Okay, let's go there. What plans do you currently have for the house and outbuildings as far as renovation ideas go and uses once renovated? Which parts are for renting out? Which parts are for living? We'll do a more detailed video on this topic once we have finalized our plans with our geometra and have the permissions in place, because it could still change. But currently the overall plan is to start renovating the western part of the property into holiday accommodations. So that's also the part that's currently habitable. It's in the best condition, so it's kind of the lowest hanging fruit. When it comes to restoration, it should be the least amount of work. Yeah, that will also include, probably in a second phase, the chicken coop, the old polaio, and the small warehouse next to it. And then at some point we will renovate the eastern part of the house, which is kind of there, which is the current stables and the hayloft, and we'll be renovating that as a house for us and for our office and workshop space. And then the old cantina across the road, and that's gonna be my mom's cottage. So that's like the general
idea. Things
And
might still change, but that's the current plan.
And maybe if this is like a spontaneous thing coming up, but in the past people have also asked, like, what are you going to do with the little chapel? Are you going to turn that into a tiny home holiday cottage thingy? And the answer to that is no.
It's a bit too tiny.
It's really, really small. You could probably make a tiny house in it, but then you would have to install a mezzanine, and then you would have to like change the whole vibe of the space, and our current plans with it are to just preserve it the way it is, to put in a floor, to maybe put some seating furniture in there, because it's nice and cool there in the summer. So just to have like a small, quiet, secluded space to retreat, to sit, to enjoy some shade in the summer. Yeah, that's our current plan. Okay, next question. What are your top 5 renovation priorities in the next year?
We are currently finalizing our plans, what to do with the newest part of the house, the 1960s part that we currently live in, because we want to renovate the downstairs first there. So we need to make a new kitchen then upstairs somewhere, because we will be ripping out the walls of the old one and redoing the floors and all that. So that's our plan, really, to start there. That's phase 1.
Yeah, so first finalize the plans. Second, talk about them with our geometra, see if there's anything that we need to change to comply to Italian building regulations, and then have her submit all the information to the Comune for the planning permissions. And then meanwhile make a makeshift kitchen on the 2nd floor, so that we don't have to cook in the middle of a building site. And then start with ripping out walls, plaster, tiles, and beginning with building everything back up, but without the expectation of finishing that phase next year. If we can finish it in mid 2025, we'll be happy. Because with this like defined project, there's a lot of other things that will need to happen. Like we'll also have to install a new septic system, and we'll have to redo all of the plumbing. So this is kind of like it's the basis. It's not just refurbishing the ground floor. It's like really putting in all the basics that will then be able to build on
for the next
phases. What's the renovation project you're looking forward to the most? What are you looking forward to?
At some point in the future, I would like to tackle the chicken coop building, because it's so small and rustic and adorable. It's gonna look great when it's renovated.
Yeah, it feels like really kind of manageable. Like, but also because it's like a small building on itself. You will see results like way faster than with the big building that's like going to take many years to finish, and that will be like maybe 2 years of work.
The chicken coop thing.
Yeah, the chicken coop. 2 years of work, and then you will really have like this cute little cottage. So it is way more instant satisfaction. So yeah, and for me, I think the thing I'm looking forward to right now, although it does change a little bit from week to week, is to rip off all the cement in places where it shouldn't be, where it's suffocating our stone walls and keeping moisture trapped in places where it shouldn't be, because it's gonna make a big visual change, but it's also going to feel like doing something that makes a difference for this building. It's nice to see that you're working with as many materials as possible that are still present in your home. Do you plan to continue with this?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. There are obviously things that we will have to rip out because it's either necessary or because of personal taste too. But we plan on preserving as much as possible, changing as little as possible. We were talking about ripping out a few walls. They're not structural walls, load-bearing walls, so we're not changing any load-bearing things really. And we will not be putting in new windows everywhere. And we're trying to respect the architecture of the buildings as much as possible, as they are right now. And we'll reuse as many of the things that we do take away. And when we are replacing and adding new things, we will always try to do so with respect to traditional building style and methods and materials of this region. Like, for instance, using linseed oil paint for woodwork and lime plaster instead of cement, lime wash paint instead of modern acrylic or latex paints, using terracotta tiles and stuff like that. Our motivations for that are both environmental. We like reducing the amount of waste and the amount of resources that we use, and also because we love history and we like preserving this building as much as possible, so that after our lifetime it will still look like a traditional building of this area, and it won't have lost all its stories.
And not to forget, many of the older building materials like lime are breathable, and they allow the walls to breathe and not capture the moisture inside. So in the end, it's better. For a building.
Do you want to do everything yourselves over a number of years, or will you look into hiring a geometra and a crew to make faster progress?
We want to do as much as possible as we can ourselves, but we are limited in some things that we are not legally allowed to do.
We're gonna definitely need a plumber and an electrician, and probably also a muratore to for some jobs. But what we are allowed to do ourselves, we will do ourselves. So all the finishing, for sure, like plastering, painting, tiling, building kitchen cabinets and installing appliances, but like all the electricity, plumbing, has to be signed off by a certified Italian professional. So for the first phase, we might get away without a muratore, but when we are going to renovate parts of the property where the roof needs to be redone, we will have to work with one for those things, for sure. So yeah, it will be a mix, and it's definitely going to take us a number of years to finish this. Like 2 decades sounds like a realistic estimate.
Piano, as they say.
Yeah, but even not piano.
No, it will just take a long time.
Yeah, like the neighbors that we talked about earlier, who have been here for 16 years, they really have been renovating for 16 years. And the guy was a professional builder in the Netherlands, so they have more experience than us. So it will definitely, I think if it took them 16 years, it will definitely take us 20. How many hours of manual labor have you put in so far? So we are not really the kind of people who track stuff like this in spreadsheets. So this is like a really rough guesstimate. But I would say we work 4 hours per person a day on average, sometimes more, sometimes less, and we do take a few days off every week.
And you have to go shopping.
Exactly, and keep the house clean, which we largely fail
Make
at.
the videos.
So yeah, 4 days per person, 4 hours per person per day, 5 days a week.
About 1,000 hours by now.
Yeah, probably. Which includes everything. I mean, it includes planting and digging and painting and sanding, but also doing silly things like fixing the plumbing in the kitchen under the sink that we didn't even film.
The doorknob that broke off and I fixed.
Yeah. Lots of things break down all the time and they're not super interesting. So yeah, but they do take time. So yeah, so 1,000 hours, including everything.
Yeah. What's the next question?
I'm impressed with your handicraft skills. Are you educated in this?
Well, we have no official degrees in anything craft related. We just like to learn stuff and do stuff. So we watch YouTube channels and we get taught things by other people, and we just throw ourselves into new projects we like, and along the work we learn how to do it.
Yeah, we have a lot of handy friends who do have formal training in a lot of different skills, from metalworking, woodworking, restoration, carpentry. So we've learned a lot from friends as well.
The combination of research, experimentation and shared learning is also the way that I've taught myself to make medieval reproduction armour for the last 15 years. Mostly for myself, to use in historical equestrian shows for museums and cultural organizations across Europe and the world, which used to be my job.
And yeah, maybe there's something in our gene pool. Bertus' great-grandfather was a carpenter, for example. And also in my family, I have an uncle who's a carpenter. And lots of people in the past who did like handicraft skills, more textile related. So I definitely don't have my love for textiles from any strangers. It kind of runs in the family. I've also grown up with a mother who has built 2 houses in her lifetime, and I've never known any different than my mom doing the electricity, everything electricity related in our household. And I've also grown up in big gardens. My grandmother was like a vegetable grower, and I've spent lots of hours of my childhood in their greenhouse. And so yeah, that's it, I guess.
That's it.
Next question. Do you continue to do any remote work, or are you using savings until the Kashina becomes a source of revenue? So I'm still working remotely. I still have my creative coaching practice. All I need for that is a good internet connection. And we're starting to have some income from our YouTube channel, which we hope will continue to grow over the next years. So feel free to share with all of your friends so we can make that happen. Yeah, so we're basically saving the savings for renovating the savings that we have and trying to keep our monthly expenses low. We don't have very high monthly expenses. We're not paying rent. We're not paying a mortgage. Because we bought the property from our savings and with the help of our parents. So thank you, parents. And then of course, once we finish renovating holiday accommodations, we will also be generating some income from the Kashina, and that will grow through the years as we finish more and more rentable,
which we can pour back into Kashina to renovate more.
Yeah.
Yeah, my love.
Thank you. Oh.
What's the next question?
Okay, and then the next thing is land. That's the next theme.
How will you deal with the extensive land that you have, and will you need to maintain all of it? Well, luckily we have a neighbor farmer who mows all the grass for us, so we have hardly no maintenance to do on it at all.
We have an official agreement with him, and so he mows the land and gets to keep the hay for his cows or to sell or whatever.
Yep.
So it's really a win-win situation. So that's like half of our land.
Yeah.
So about 8 hectares are meadows.
The other half is young forest or older forest.
Yeah, it's a mix.
It's a mix.
There's some older forests with bigger trees, and then some neglected agricultural land that has become young forest.
Mm-hmm. But there's no obligation here to maintain it with regards to fire or something.
Yeah, we've already talked about this, right?
Yeah,
Fire hazards.
Yeah.
So which video? 7? I think in video number 7 we talk a little bit about fire hazards in Italy, and the area where we are has a really low wildfire risk.
Mm-hmm.
So the rules and restrictions around land management are fairly straightforward here. So the only thing that we really have to do is when trees fall over public roads, we have to take them away. And when we don't, we get fined.
Yep, that's it. Really easy.
That's definitely something that we looked into before committing to buy 16 hectares. We had never planned to buy a property with this much land. So, but this kind of just...
It came with the dream house.
Yeah, and the dream views and everything. We will be clearing some of the younger forest because it's on the terraces, and it also jeopardizes the dry stone walls.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll be working our way outward from the house. So we'll start with the terraces right around the house, and then gradually over time work our way outward. And we definitely don't we like some wilderness, so we definitely also won't clearing everything up and making it all neat and tidy. But it would be nice if there would be more paths so that you can really walk around and enjoy all of the beautiful corners on our land.
Do you plan to have animals on your land in the future? Yes, we want animals, but we will start small. We're thinking of chickens in the near future and possibly a cat or two. But
probably a cat or two, possibly chickens.
Yes.
Quite determined on the cats. But then, we would like maybe also some ducks or geese or both, some goats, because they are really great to keep regrowth in check. But we also really like sheep, and we will be adding them gradually when we feel we're ready for it, rather than taking on everything all at once and then getting overwhelmed.
Especially animals need stabling or a coop or fencing, and all the time we put into that we can't put into renovating the house itself, so it has to be a balanced evolving situation.
Bertus has owned a horse for years, and just having to muck out stables every day in winter, if you do that for just one animal, it's still kind of overseeable. But if you have to do that for cleaning a chicken coop and a horse stable and your sheep or a goat shed, it's time that we can't renovate
or make movies.
Yeah, so it's something that we would like, but that we don't want to rush ourselves with.
Yep.
What are you planning for your garden and landscape in the upcoming year? So, as with animals, gardening asks a lot of time and also a lot of preparation to get the soil ready for planting. So if next year we have a few pumpkin plants and zucchini and some lettuce, I'll be really happy, and then we can take it from there and enlarge the vegetable garden over the years. We did want to plant some fruit trees this fall, but because the fruit trees couldn't be delivered before mid-December, and we are not going to be here the whole time, so it's a bit difficult to plan. So we will probably be doing that next year. And we did plant some herbs this fall, so that's feels already like a step in the right direction, to have fresh herbs from our own garden next spring and summer. And we'll just be taking it from there and using the next year to also feel into where we want everything to be, like what's the best spot for a vegetable garden for us, and where do we want to plant the fruit trees, and do we want to go for a formal orchard, or do we just want to like scatter them out around the property and stuff like that. So we're definitely working towards it, but it won't be a big chunk out of next year.
That's good.
And then there's one last question. Are you open or ready to receive visitors and helpers next year? The answer is we're working on it. Last summer we had several friends, helper friends and family over, and we do notice that we like having our own space a little bit, especially for my work. I really need like a quiet space. We are going to start renovating the ground floor. That like reduces the amount of space that we have, the amount of guest rooms that we have. We will be hopefully creating an outdoor bathroom and a composting toilet so that people can camp in the garden, or they can sleep in the summer in the rooms in the older house, because they are dry, and in the summer they are like warm enough, like perfect. Actually, it's a bit cooler there in the summer than the modern house, so that's really nice. So yeah, so we are going to create infrastructure to be able to receive people. And then once we are ready, we'll let you know if you want to come over and help, how to apply, get in touch. But we aren't there yet, so
Yep.
So yeah, but that's also might have been in the should maybe have been in the top 5 priorities for next year. So that's a number 6. Yeah. Dai Bertus. Hoe is het? Ja, oké, we zijn er goed geraakt weer al, hè. Dus Maria Luisa, wat heeft ze gebakken?
Ja, ze heeft gewoon ingepakt, hè. Dus, maar ik heb nog een paar dingetjes mee van werkgever dat misschien nog handig is. Onder andere zo'n 2 meter lange waterpas.
Ah, oké.
Ik weet niet of je dat al had.
2 meter weet ik niet zeker.
Anderhalf wel.
Misschien wel.
Anderhalf wel, en anders is het ook een 2, maar ze zijn er al wel.
Ja, maar nee, dat komt toch altijd wel van.
Ja.
Ah, dat is met walnootjes en...
Dank u wel. Thank you, Maria Luisa.
Ja, allee.
What is your routine in getting groceries or necessities for the renovation? Do you do it weekly? And are groceries expensive? We thought we'd take you along for grocery shopping this evening. We usually go shopping once a week. You might not expect it, but there's quite a lot of options for grocery shopping around us. In general, we alternate between a run to the big grocery stores in Aquiterme. There's a Lidl, Konat, Eurospin, and some other big supermarkets there, and our local, smaller grocery store. Today we're driving to nearby town Cortimilia, which takes us about 20 minutes. There's also a few smaller alimentari in nearby villages as well, where we go if we forgot something or when we're passing by. During the growing season, we also buy fresh produce straight from a local farm. Or we go shopping on market day. Because markets are always in the morning, and in the winter we have less daylight hours for work, we don't go as often and tend to do our groceries after sunset. The prices for groceries here in Italy are very similar to what we are used to in the Netherlands. We spend around 150 euros a week. We mostly buy fresh, unprocessed foods and organic when available. When we need materials for the renovation, we can get those in the same run. There's a fairly big do-it-yourself Home Depot in Acquiterme and a small family-owned DIY shop in Cortimiglia, as well as specialized shops for paint, natural stone and other building materials. Wish everybody happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, also if you're not celebrating Christmas, happy winter solstice, happy
Well,
turn
next
of the
year.
year.
And
Yeah.
see you soon.
See you soon.